Fire Warden Safety, an Introduction. Goals and aims of this course. Fire wardens are an essential aspect of workplace health and safety. They protect workers and visitors alike from the genuine dangers that can and do emerge should a fire break out. This course will introduce you to the role, responsibilities, and resources of a fire warden. Areas to be covered will include prevention, studying potential fire risks and how to spot them in advance so you can lower the chances of a fire breaking out in the first place. Preparation, making sure you have the tools and techniques in place should a fire break out. This includes things like fire plans and evacuation procedures. Procedures, learning all the correct practices and processes that you should use to contain, control, and ultimately counteract a workplace fire. By the end of this course, you will understand all of the following areas. Fire wardens, their roles and duties in the eyes of the law. Fire types, the different kinds of fire commonly and uncommonly encountered at workplaces. Fire causes, the elements to look for that could potentially lead to a fire. Fire risks, the specific dangers present when fires break out and how best to combat them. Fire detection, processes to find fire quickly before issues get out of hand. Fire warnings, the best way to get everyone's attention quickly and calmly. Fire equipment, extinguishers, alarms, and more. How they work, what kinds there are, how to look after them, and what to do if they break. Fire plans, the full requirements of your outline preparations. Fire drills, practicing being in danger when it's safe so that everyone is safe when there is a danger. Personal emergency evacuation plans, how to create them and what they need to contain. Topics to be covered. In the first section, we will be covering the following: the importance of fire safety, context about the dangers represented by fire and why we should care, fire safety law, the pertinent legislation, its reach and its enforcement, employer duties, how employers need to prepare for potential fires, warden duties, how many wardens there should be and how should they all prepare for potential fires. The importance of fire safety. Fires cause devastating and indiscriminate damage to thousands of UK businesses every year. ONS statistics on non-dwelling building fires are as follows. From 2013 to 2014, 16,523. From 2014 to 2015, 15,560. From 2015 to 2016, 16,024. From 2016 to 2017, 15,859. From 2017 to 2018, 15,577. ONS statistics on non-fatal injuries caused by non-dwelling fires are: from 2013 to 2014, 924. From 2014 to 2015, 888. From 2015 to 2016, 1,096. From 2016 to 2017, 897. From 2017 to 2018, 994. Even beyond the destruction of property, severe injuries, and even occasionally lethal fatalities, fire can cause other losses too. Time. Downtime waiting for repairs to be finished, phone calls, forms, and other bureaucratic wranglings dealing with insurance, staff time redirected towards locating replacement stock, and so much else. Customer goodwill, The sympathy and goodwill of your customers are not unlimited. They put in orders and they still want returns on their money. Fires cause delays and losses that customers rarely forgive or forget. Resources, stock, equipment, records, data, and much more besides. All kinds of resources that can make the work of a business functionally possible. When it's gone, it often cannot be replaced. Many businesses simply will not recover following a fire. Fire safety legislation. Scotland. The Fire Safety Regulations 2006. England and Wales. Regulatory Reform Fire Safety Order 2005. Northern Ireland. The Fire Safety Regulations 2010. United Kingdom. The Dangerous Substances and Explosive Atmospheres Regulations DSEAR 2002. To meet fire safety law requirements, workplaces need to meet the following basic criteria. Prevention. Take reasonable steps and establish sensible precautions to reduce the risk of fire. Preparation. Put plans and procedures in place to ensure safety should fire ever break out. DSEAR. The Dangerous Substances and Explosive Atmospheres Regulations 2002 outlines the employer's responsibilities to prevent explosions in the workplace. These regulations cover items that are flammable, explosive, oxidizing. Substances of these kinds require close regulation. If your company uses such substances regularly, you and your colleagues must undergo specific DSEAR training. The warning sign for explosive atmospheres is just the letters EX in black font on a yellow background. A triangular symbol indicates there is an explosive atmosphere nearby. A hexagonal symbol indicates this device has been certified for use in EX environments. The first responsible person. In England and Wales, the responsible person must deal with fire safety. This person is defined as potentially being a or an employer, owner, manager, occupier of any and all of the following businesses, buildings, spaces that are used for anything other than domestic or dwelling purposes. This responsible person is ultimately the one who must ensure that all guests, customers, visitors, employees are properly protected by risk reductions, evacuation procedures. Areas with a first responsible person. A first responsible person will need to be designated for all of the following types of places: offices, shops, factories, warehouses. Extra care may need to be taken depending on what is stored there: hospitals, schools, pubs or bars, cafes or restaurants, temples or churches or mosques or synagogues or mandir or any other worship center, community centers, sports facilities, shared accommodation centers, example given, student housing, refuge centers, hostels or hotels, tents, marquees or other temporary structures, rented properties. The second responsible person, prevention. As part of their responsibilities, the first responsible person must appoint a group of competent individuals to be the second group of responsible people, aka fire wardens. A fire warden's responsibilities are based around fire prevention and fire procedures. Prevention, risk. Fire wardens must identify potential risks present in the work environment. They then need to classify if these are low, medium, or high risks, determine what aspects make this risk fit that category, and then report this to the first responsible person. Prevention routes. Fire wardens must inform everyone of the proper exits and routes to use in the event of a fire. They need to keep said routes clearly accessible and clearly labeled. Prevention readiness. Fire wardens need to be fully trained on how to use fire extinguishers, how to activate emergency lighting, and be aware of any other fire or other emergency equipment in the building. Prevention readjustment. Fire wardens need to stay up to date with any and all changes in the law and changes to the building. If these changes make previous fire procedures obsolete or unsafe, the fire wardens need to readjust existing plans accordingly. Enforcement. Fire safety laws are enforced at the local level. Depending upon where you live, this will be one of two types of council or local authority: a county council, a unitary town or city council. Double check which of these most applies to your area, as sometimes it isn't immediately obvious. For example, although Rochester is in Kent, its local authority is Medway Council. These authorities have powers to issue the following kinds of notices: alternations notices, a legal requirement for the first responsible person to tell the local authority when certain types of changes are being made to the premises. These are usually issued when the premises is already considered high risk. Enforcement notices, a legal requirement to make specific changes by a specific date. This kind of notice is used when the local authorities believe that a specific and serious risk is not being properly managed. Prohibition notices. It is the most powerful tool of the local council. If a local authority believes there is sufficient fire safety danger, it can shut a premise down until the changes are made. Failing to abide by these notices can result in fines of up to £5,000 for a minor penalty, unlimited fines for a major penalty, up to 2 years in prison for a major penalty. First and second responsible person duties. In quick summary, here are the distinct responsibilities of the first and second responsible persons, i.e., the employers and the wardens. Employer duties: keeping fire safety equipment, alarms, horses, emergency lights, etc. in good working order, creating a fire plan and organizing evacuation procedures, providing all staff with fire safety training, advising all staff of potential fire safety risks, keeping a fire risk assessment up to date, having the procedures for fire safety properly recorded for inspection and safety purposes. Note: the last point there only applies if your business employs 5 or more people. You need a license to operate your business, pub or entertainment venue, etc. An alteration notice requiring recording is in force. Warden duties: update and develop fire evacuation procedures and emergency plans. Monitor the upkeep and operation of all fire safety equipment. Arrange fire drills and fire risk assessments. Assess the results of each afterwards. Monitor the workspace for potential fire risks. Assist in the event of a fire by helping during evacuations or potentially fighting the fire directly. How many fire wardens? Despite this being a law, there is no hard and fast definitive rule on how many fire wardens each individual premises needs. This is because there are too many factors that can affect this requirement. These include the size of the premises, how many buildings, how many floors, how big a floor plan each floor has, how many rooms, the number and type of occupants, how many employees, how many contractors, how many visitors, how many customers, how long will they be there, are they children, are they elderly, the shift rotation patterns, how many shifts are there, how long does each shift last, holiday allowances, how many holidays do staff get, how much is the duration, sickness allocation, how often on average are there people calling in sick, the level of fire risk inherent to the work. Are there flammable items stored in the premises on a regular basis? The level of fire risk presented by the structure or building. What is the building made from? The general rule is that there should be at least 2 fire wardens in any business to avoid issues of illness. Beyond that, the specific number will be something you will need to determine with correspondence with local authorities. Fire Warden Training Specifics. Aside from the general training all fire wardens need, they will also need specific training linked to your business. Specific evacuation procedures and emergency response plans. Locations of all firefighting equipment installed in the workplace. Knowledge of how to use all equipment, extinguishers, loudspeakers, etc. All health and safety threats specific to your type of business that are linked to fire safety. Memorize the layout of the specific evacuation area each fire warden is responsible for. If your workplace has a complicated floor layout, several buildings, or otherwise is difficult to navigate, you will likely need several fire wardens who all have intimate understandings of specific areas. Summary. Fires can cause devastating and indiscriminate damage to thousands of UK businesses every year. The County Council and the Unitary Town or City Council are the two authorities who enforce the fire safety laws at the local level. It's the employer's duty to keep the fire safety equipment in good working order and create a fire plan and organizing evacuation process. Fire wardens need to be fully trained on how to use fire extinguishers, how to activate emergency lighting, and be aware of any other fire or other emergency equipment in the building. The general rule is that there should be at least 2 fire wardens in any business to avoid issues of illness.